If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Well, hello there. It is Tuesday, January 22nd, and it is 8:57 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry that I haven't been with you the last couple days. Last time, I was having difficulty with my microphone, and I was waiting till Monday to go out and get a new one. My kitten had chewed through the wires on my microphone, and it was shorting out, and eventually it just quit altogether. Well, I went out to my car on Monday morning, and it had been like 30 some below the night before, and my car's dead. And because everybody seems to be having issues right now with their cars, I couldn't get anybody to come out and boost my battery or give my battery a boost, and come to find out I need a new battery anyway. But I was able to borrow a car today and get my microphone, so yay! I've got that, and tomorrow they're coming to get my car fixed for me, so I'm happy about all that. Anyway, we're not going to be looking at Q tonight because there is no Q post. There are no Q posts for today, but there's plenty of news, and I've been collecting it, and I've been just wishing that I could get on here because I've had some really interesting stuff to tell you guys, and hopefully I'll get to it all. If not, I may need to do a couple videos, but let's get moving. Let's get to it. All right, let's go down here. And now some of these things might be a couple days old because I do go out every day and collect different things that I think that you might be interested in, or that I'm interested in, and think you may also be interested in. So just, having said that, let's go take a look. You ever wonder what they call a fly when it dies? Is it just called a dead fly, or is it called a flu? I think it should be called a flu, but that's just me. All right, now here is this. Fire damages MSNBC, Fox News, C-SPAN studios in D.C. as Mike Pence scheduled to appear. Very odd. This was Sunday, January the 20th. That seems a little bit odd to me, especially since it wasn't that long ago we had an attempt on the president's life, and none of that made it to the news, it seems, and I don't know why. In fact, I had spoken to different people, friends of mine in the U.S., and they said, well, we didn't hear anything about it. So I don't know. It's awfully strange, but you had that same weekend that there was going to be that an attempt on the president's life was thwarted. You had Pelosi leaving town with 90 some of her relatives to a war zone. Now, why a woman would take her children and her grandchildren to a war zone, I'll never know. I don't believe we've been told the truth about that, not even this much truth about that, but that's another whole deal. Now, this seems odd as well. Washington, ABC 7. I don't believe that this was really made a lot of either. And you would think that it would, unless I missed it. And hey, I miss things. But did you guys see this? Has this been splashed all over the news? If not, why? Washington, ABC 7. An electrical fire broke out Sunday morning at a building that houses MSNBC, Fox News, and C-SPAN studios in D.C. D.C. Fire and EMS said the fire took place at 7:15 a.m. in the MSNBC studio on the 8th floor of the building at 400 North Capitol Street, Northwest, and no one was injured. The Fox News and C-SPAN studios are in the same building, though on different floors. I just think it's strange, that's all. Just think it's strange. It says, update, box alarm, 400 North Capitol Street, Northwest. DC's bravest have extinguished an electrical fire in an 8th floor TV studio. No injuries reported, working on smoke removal. And Vice President Mike Pence was scheduled to be present at the building to appear on Fox News Sunday with host Chris Wallace, but was not there at the time of the evacuation, a Pence spokesperson told ABC 7. As a result of the fire, Fox News Sunday moved to Fox 5 studio at 5151 Wisconsin Avenue Northwest, and Pence still appeared on the show. A Fox 5 assignment editor told ABC 7 that former House Speaker Newt Gingrich also was at the Fox 5 studios. On the show, Wallace addressed the fire. If things look a little bit different, different here today, it's because of the fact we had a fire. Yes, a fire in our building on North Capitol Street. And so we're over at our wonderful affiliate, WTTG, Wallace said, according to The Hill. So, okay, maybe it's not that strange, but I thought I'd bring it up because I think it is. Did they not want him to appear? Were they trying to make it so that he couldn't appear by burning the place where he would have appeared later that day? I don't know. I mean, because had it not been for the fact that their affiliate stepped in, then the interview would have had to have been rescheduled, and maybe that was the whole point. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, put it in the comments below, because I know I like to comb through them, and I know other people do as well. So there you go. All right, well, let's go back and see what other trouble we can get into, and it doesn't take us long because there's this. Now, this guy, Jack Morrissey. Now, you heard about the kids that it looked as if they were harassing the Native American Indian, but as it turns out, it was very much the other way around, the Covenant Catholic school boys. And it was interesting because originally everybody was jumping on that and condemning these boys. And I was going to say something on it, about it, my last show, which I think would have been Sunday, or was it Saturday? I'm not sure. Anyway, whenever it was, that is, I figured that I would cover it, and then I looked into it and I thought, no, there's something about this that doesn't feel right. Like it had the clip of him grinning, and I thought, well, he's grinning. I don't hear him saying anything. I don't hear him making fun of them. He's just standing there. So really, I don't know anything that's gone before or anything after, so I didn't feel comfortable. Well, I'm glad that I didn't feel comfortable, because as it turns out, this guy, Nathan Phillips, is this man's name, the Native American, and he is in with Soros. And he has made it a habit of going on and doing this sort of thing. And it wasn't that the boys were taunting him or those with him at all. In fact, it was the other way around. So, but of course, the mainstream media ran with the narrative that these boys in their MAGA hats, these Donald Trump fans, these horrible, horrible boys, were making fun of this Native American man who was a Vietnam veteran. Well, it turns out he's as much of a Vietnam veteran as Sidney Blumenthal. So yeah, he's not a Vietnam veteran at all. And he is Native American, absolutely. But these boys were not making fun of him. But that didn't stop the mainstream media, and all sorts of people ran with that, including this person, Jack Morrissey. And according to Aaron, this is a Disney producer of Beauty and the Beast movie, advocating putting children into a wood chipper. The entertainment industry are effing monsters, every last one of them. And of course, that's what this picture is. It's a picture of a child. You can see the boot going in there, being put into a wood chipper. Well, that is not appropriate ever. Not ever. I don't care what a kid has done or hasn't done. It's not funny. It's not. So, really inappropriate. I mean, there's inappropriate, and then there's like really inappropriate, like way over the border of appropriate. So then we've got this from Nancy Pelosi. 800,000 Americans are going without pay. Reopen the government. Let workers get their paychecks. And then we can discuss how we can come together to protect the border. The thing is, she's already said that there's no negotiating, that she's not even going to give $1 towards, well, she did actually say she would give $1 towards the border. So, her saying, well, let's reopen it and then discuss it. She's talking out of both sides of her mouth, which is completely appropriate for her because she's completely duplicitous. She acts acts one way, but she is another. You can't trust that what she's saying and what she's meaning are the same things, because she's duplicitous. She's evil. And anyway, that is in response to a tweet by Donald Trump that said Nancy Pelosi has behaved so irrationally and has gone so far to the left that she has now officially become a radical Democrat. She is so petrified of the lefties in her party that she has lost control. And, by the way, clean up the streets in San Francisco. They are disgusting. Now, that's awesome. I mean, Trump, he's just handing it to her, you know. And it's true. She can't even handle her little district. So what makes her think that she can handle being the president of the United States? She can't even clean up the crap in her own neighborhood. They're literally crapping in the streets. Well, not around her home, because she's got a big old wall. But yeah, there's needles and crap and everything else in the streets. She can't even handle that. So how can she handle being a president? Clean up your own backyard, then we'll see. You know, like, come on. Anyway, you know, and then of course she's trying to make it look like it's Trump. Oh, he's so unreasonable. He's got this government shut down, and 800,000 people are going without pay, and you know. But meanwhile, she's only offering to pay $1 for the wall. Yeah, unreal. It really is unreal. Like, if somebody came to me as a teacher, if somebody came to me and said, "Well, this is the plot of a novel that I'm going to write," and they laid it all out, and it was this, and I'd be like, no one's going to read that. Nobody'd believe that. They'd all be going like, no, that could never happen. So yeah, like, you can't even make this stuff up, really. And if you did, I mean, it would be so out there that everybody's going to think it's fiction anyway. Okay, and then we've got James Wood. Calling for the names of children who aren't public figures when unhinged others are threatening them with physical injury is a potentially catastrophic lawsuit for you. I strongly suggest you rethink this tweet. Now, he is saying that to Kathy Griffin, I know, who says, P.S. The reply from the school was pathetic and impotent. Name these kids. I want names. Shame them. If you think these effers wouldn't dox you in a heartbeat, think again. And that is why James responded, you know, calling these kids aren't even public figures. Come on. And you're threatening to dox them, you're threatening them with physical harm. Like, when is that appropriate? These are children. Children. They don't get it. The left. They don't. They are so far out of touch with anything that is normal. And this again from James Wood in response to Jake Tapper, who said, video footage strongly contradicts Native American veteran Native Phillips' claim that Covington Catholic high school boys harassed him. The media got this one completely wrong, writes at Toby Soave, whoever that is. I'm not sure who that is, but James is responding to that, James Wood, and saying, these are verified accounts on Twitter who have offered bounties to anyone willing to physically assault these children. Perhaps this is a story you might investigate on your network. Well, you know that's not going to happen. There's really not, but there's been a few that have apologized, but very few. Too few. So there you go. And then Nicholas Sandman, Kathy Griffin says, now Nicholas Sandman is the young man with the mega hat who is from Covenant Catholic School. He's on Twitter. You can hook up with him on Twitter. I mean, follow him, whatever. I don't mean hook up with him. He says, Kathy Griffin says, P.S. The reply from the school was pathetic and impotent. Name these kids. I want names. Shame them. If you think these effers wouldn't dox you in a heartbeat, think again. Well, here's Nicholas Sandman saying, here I am, Kathy Griffin. How may I help you? So he's not backing down and just being, you know, a little wilting violet and going away. He's like, look, I haven't done anything wrong. And, you know, like, here Kathy's calling for his name and for him to be shamed and everything and call him out and wishes him, harm, physical harm. And he's saying, well, here I am. How can I help you? So, very interesting about what's happening with these kids. And if you think this wasn't all set up, you are sadly mistaken. It was set up. And this guy is this guy, Nathan Phillips, the Native American man, is very well versed in doing this sort of thing. Well versed. They were trying to cause controversy, and they did it. And here's another interesting point too. Okay, a lot of people have speculated that Ruth Ginsburg is dead, especially since Fox News yesterday happened to put up the graphic that showed her. You know how they put from to when somebody has passed away, and they put up the graphic of her death, of her passing, and that's pretty odd if you ask me. Now, I understand that probably a lot of these stations have it ready to go because they've probably been informed. Look, she's not doing well. She may be passing on. I personally believe she's gone already, personally. But so it could have been an accident, but it's still very odd. And I think it was done on purpose, especially because it was Fox News. Now, if it was CNN, I would believe it might be an accident because they probably wouldn't want us to know that she's dead. But Fox, I tend to think that she probably really is. And so it ties in with all this, with the Covenant School and everything. It ties in because you've got her that I believe has passed away. If not, then she has already said she's going to step down in January. So we know that it's coming. And the next justice that many speculate will be a Catholic. So they're thinking that this was done on purpose to draw attention in a negative way to Catholicism and point to these guys and saying, oh, look at these Catholic MAGA fans, it's pathetic. So I don't know. I think that that's probably a pretty good guess right there. All right, and this POTUS schedule, Monday, that was for yesterday, and it said that his motorcade was departing the White House en route, but the destination was reserved. I thought that was a little interesting. Where did he go? What did he do? I want to know. I know you do. I know you do too. You're curious, like I am. All right, and here is the graphic that Fox News flashed across their screen momentarily. It said Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. No, it's not Bader, it's Bader. I always get that wrong. I always want to call her Bader. Well, she's Bader. It fits. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 1933 to 2019. That is what was flashed on the screen at Fox. That was on Sunday, I do believe. So, it's odd. Says Fox News airs graphic suggesting Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died. Fox News channel Fox and Friends briefly aired a graphic which erroneously suggested Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead. I don't know. Nobody knows for sure. Nobody has come forward to say yay or nay. So I don't know. They probably have a pretty good reason to hide it if she has passed on, and they're probably saving it for just the most opportune time for a funeral, like they did with George Herbert Walker Bush, but nobody knows at this point. All right. Now look at this. Jim Hoft at Gateway Pundit. Los Angeles DJ calls for Covington Catholic School to be burned down with kids locked inside. Twitter says he didn't violate rules. So I guess you can say anything. If you're a leftist, you can say anything you want on Twitter, and nothing will happen to you. You won't get your followers taken. You won't be shadow banned. Nothing will happen to you. But if you're on the right side and you say something that they even perceive, you're gone. That's the way it is. And this person says, the enemy of the people are creating terrorists with their fake news media. And they are. They are. Because they're the ones, they are directly, if anything happens to these children, anything. That is directly on the false news media who made that narrative. They made it through creative editing. That's exactly what they did. And here is Ryan Fournier. Apparently, the Native American man who harassed the MAGA hat teenagers is linked to big money left-wing activism group. Looks like they took advantage of the situation. Oh yes, you never let a good situation or a good crisis go to waste. They just probably saw an opportunity there to act, and they did. They wanted the MAGA hat wearing Catholic teenagers to look as bad as possible, and they succeeded in that until people started looking at the rest of the video and went, this isn't how it was portrayed at all. Not at all. Anyway, let's look at this. And then we're going to get into some really interesting stuff. Okay, Nancy Pelosi charged the Air Force nearly $200,000 to fly her family and other lawmakers to Italy and Ukraine. There's just no end to this woman's gall. Now, this was a while ago, but still. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's congressional delegation, CODL, to Belgium, Egypt, and Afghanistan garnered extra attention after President Donald Trump banned her from using military aircraft, but the trip would not have been the first time she used Air Force money to travel the world. Pelosi's trip to Italy and Ukraine from July 30th to August 6, 2015 cost the Air Force $184,587.81, according to documents released Saturday under a 2015 Freedom of Information Act lawsuit by Judicial Watch. Her delegation was made up of other Democratic members of Congress, including California Representative Anna Eshoo, after token Republican Wisconsin Representative Jim Seinsbrenner pulled out last minute, reported the Washington Post in 2015. 4 family members, including Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, were slated to go on the trip. The delegation was scheduled to dine at restaurants, including James Beard American Restaurant in Milan, where a 5-course meal costs up to $190. Now, that should enrage those of you that are having trouble during all of this, feeding your family. And she, 5-course meal, $190, that's no problem for her. She'll pay for her and her whole family on our tax dollars. It's awful. It's awful. Because I know that there's seniors out there, there's veterans out there that on a fixed income that have barely enough. In fact, some months, they're probably wondering, well, do I pay my power bill? Do I pay my car payment? Do I put food on the table? And yet she thinks nothing of going out and spending taxpayers' money. Anyway, yeah, $190 a plate. How do you like that? Bet it's good food. It should be. Anyway, a 5-course meal costs up to $190. According to fine dining lovers, the lawmakers also toured the Vatican and met up with Italian dignitaries, including President Sergio Mattarella and then Prime Minister Matteo Renzi. According to their itinerary, Pelosi's team apparently had some pretty specific requests for the Air Force officials working with them to coordinate the trip. Oh, I bet they did. I bet you they wanted all sorts of top shelf booze and, who knows what they wanted. You're going to love this. Pelosi is requesting the crew that they had on earlier attached trip. Apparently they were very pleased with their service. I already told the escort chances were slim, an unidentified Air Force official wrote in an email July 9th, 2015. Overall, Pelosi's European excursion cost the Air Force about the same amount of money it would take to send a student to Harvard University for 4 years. Judicial Watch compared the trip to Republican Colorado Senator Cory Gardner's CODL trip with multiple stops in with multiple stops in East Asia in August 2015. The trip led by Gardner, a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, cost at least $26,000 for commercial flights and per diems, according to records cited by Judicial Watch. Is this even necessary? I mean, why are all these guys like? Why is Pelosi going? Isn't that something that the president would do? I mean, why do we have Pelosi going and doing these sorts of things? I don't understand it personally, and why for that amount of money? I mean, literally, they should be held accountable for their spending accounts. Judicial Watch has called out Pelosi for abuse of travel perks. Oh, abuse. Yeah, I guess it is abuse of travel perks. Since 2009, the conservative watchdog group wrote in a statement January 14th, 2016, beginning in 2009, after the media failed to follow up on concerns raised about Nancy Pelosi's use of luxury Air Force jets to travel between her congressional district and D.C., Judicial Watch's Freedom of Information Act request exposed her abuse of this travel perk. Judicial Watch uncovered that Pelosi's military travel cost the United States Air Force $2 million over a 2-year period. Yeah, that's right, $2 million. Maybe we could have used that on the wall. No, we can't, because it went into the wall around her house. That wall probably was worth more than $2 million. Over a 2-year period, and 101,429 of which was for in-flight expenses, including food and alcohol. So she needs $100,000 in food and alcohol for a flight that takes 4 hours from D.C. to Los Angeles. It takes about 4 hours, 4.5 maybe? Doesn't take that long. But she's boozing it up on that trip, boy. I bet she can hardly walk when she gets off that plane. Or maybe she can. Maybe she just used to throwing it back. I don't know. Pelosi blamed Trump after she canceled her congressional... Okay, well, we already know all about that. This was new stuff that I wanted to bring to you. And I did. So there you go. Now, let's go on to this, because it is pretty darn interesting, if you ask me. Which essentially you did, because you're here listening to me. All right. Now, an anon put this together, I would assume. Donna Brazile, okay, we know about her weird tweets about Nancy Pelosi being President Pelosi, which even hurts me to even get that out of my mouth. Like, it hurts me. Like, seriously. It leaves a nasty taste. It's almost like you threw up a little bit in your mouth when you say that. President Pelosi. Ugh. Anyway, Donna Brazile has been tweeting some weird things, one of which is this. It says $15 an hour. And we've got Alexander Hamilton here, signed here, and died from gunshot while dueling. And then we've got Abraham Lincoln down here. Hamilton, Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, of course, died from assassination, a gunshot. And then she has up here MLK Day. Well, MLK Jr. died from assassination, gunshot. And then we have over here Hillary Clinton's tweet. I mean, you got to admit that this tweet by Donna Brazile is just out there. She's like, $15 hour, something you, maybe thank you, I don't know. And these 2 bills, and it says leave something behind. What is that even supposed to mean? Legacy MLK Day. Well, looking at this, perhaps she was giving a veiled assassination threat, because remember, she said Speaker Pelosi today, and tomorrow President Pelosi, but she erased that and it said soon hereafter President Pelosi. Hairball. Anyway, here's Hillary Clinton. She said 9 years since Citizens United, the amount of money in politics hasn't changed dramatically, but who funds politics? Has a handful of donors who make multi-million-dollar contributions. The result, disastrous laws like Trump's tax giveaway to the rich. And then she has this picture, and it has Abraham Lincoln here. Another picture of the $5 bill. I don't know. It's weird. 9 years since Citizens United, the amount of money in politics hasn't changed dramatically, but who funds politics has. A handful of donors who make multi-million-dollar contributions. The result, disastrous laws like Trump's tax giveaway to the rich. So I don't know exactly what she's talking about there. It's not well written, but then she's got a $5 bill here again with Lincoln. So is this some sort of a, that's how they, especially remember, they've, Q said that their communications have been knocked out, right? So this is how they communicate now. They have to kind of communicate out in the open, cryptically. And that's what they've been doing. And then there's this, very, very, very interesting. This was seen on a sign, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was in California somewhere, and it was a sign for human trafficking. It says, human trafficking, see it? Speak up. Call 888-373-7888. Now, okay, nothing wrong with that, right? Until you realize that's the number for the Clinton Foundation. Oh, yes, it is. Now, if you want to report human trafficking, would you really want to report it to the Clinton Foundation, who's probably the biggest human traffickers ever? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. I would skip on that personally. But this is Clinton Foundation linked to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. And there it is. You've got a picture of it here up on a billboard there, human trafficking, and that is the Clinton Foundation number. That is from a 9th of August, 2018, post by Q, but somebody has found this picture and indeed seen, yes it is. This is up there, over the highway. What? Pretty wild. Yep. And here is Paul Joseph Watson. Imagine being so consumed by raw hatred you call for electrocuting children. This is the new left. And this from who else? Stormy Daniels. I'm suddenly in favor of building a wall around Covington Catholic High in Kentucky, and let's electrify it to keep those disgusting punks from getting loose and creating more vileness in society. That's rich right there. That's rich. A stripper talking about creating more vileness in society. She's made her money on porn videos. She's a porn star and a stripper. But she wants to put a wall around the Catholic high school and electrify it to keep those disgusting punks from creating more vileness in society. Really, you can't make this stuff up. Really. Like, does she not know what she does for a living? Like, Stormy, you're a stripper, man. You're a porn star. Like, really? And you think they're creating vileness? Wow. I'm just shaking my head. I'm just giving my head a shake. I don't even know what to say about it. All right, let's take a look at this. No, really, let's. No, really, don't you think if a fly is dead, it should be called a flu? I'm just saying. It doesn't make sense. Like, if a singer sings, shouldn't a finger sing? I'm just saying. Okay. Russian hooker admits she made up Trump-Russia collusion so Mueller would free her from jail. Oh, this is good stuff. Good stuff right here. Nastya Rybka was granted a suspended sentence this week after she agreed to submit false claims about Trump-Russia collusion to the FBI. Yeah, this according to Omnicentrist. And I am not, this is the person right here. This is her. And this is from a news source, newspunch.com. Russian hooker admits she made up the Trump-Russia collusion so she could get out of jail. Yeah. We already knew that, but it's nice to see when other people, recognize these things. so people don't think that we are crazy, because lots of people do. And I'm sure you've run into it too. You tell people what you believe and they will run off with the mainstream media narrative and won't let you get a word in edgewise. And you're just stupid and retarded and ignorant and you need to go back to school and no. I mean, I've had it all said to me. But what do you do? I'm sure you have too. So I know I'm not the onlyest one, and I'm not special. I know you guys are experiencing the same thing. All right, now let's take a look at this. No, really, it's coming. Here it is. Blackmail. Disgraced FBI officials threaten to release Weiner's laptop evidence exposing Clinton's if indicted. High-ranking FBI officials believe disgraced and fired FBI leaders are using the evidence from Anthony Weiner's laptop to stay out of prison. This means copies of Weiner's hard drive, which contain damaging evidence against Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin, are floating around Washington, D.C. and who knows where else. The ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card, damaging dirt on the Clintons, and blackmail and extortion used by the leaders of the once great law enforcement agency, a new low. Well, every day I think we discover a new low. Weiner is in a federal prison as a result of the files on his laptop and cell phone after engaging in phone sex with a minor. He got off lucky, dodging child porn charges for a lighter sentence. But that is only the tip of the iceberg of what was found by the FBI on Weiner's laptop. No one from the FBI is going to prison because they are using evidence as leverage, one high-ranking FBI official said. Don't hold your breath if you want to see these people in handcuffs. But isn't stealing federal evidence a crime in itself? They tampered with hundreds of cases. Another FBI insider said, this is how they played the game. This was standard procedure. These same people ruined the FBI for their personal careers. They ran their own private CIA and continue to do so now from the outside. FBI officials believe members of Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, are too implicated in the missing federal evidence trove, which contains hundreds of thousands of emails, photos, videos, and records of offshore banking. The dirt that could drain the swamp overnight. Little wonder Congress has done nothing to rein in the wayward FBI or indict its criminals. Why would FBI Director Christopher Wray, who was hired to reform the corrupt agency, tolerate this? He is likely part of the problem. The story is developing. Now, I don't know anything about that. I don't know if that is true or not. In fact, I tend to not place as much credence on it because Q has already told us multiple times that they have everything. So when somebody says they have everything, my general thought is that maybe they have everything because, everything does encompass everything. So I don't know, but until I see evidence otherwise, I'm going to believe that the right thing is being done behind the scenes. I don't know. I guess we will all find out together. But that is my hope. That is my prayer. That is my deep desire. All right, let's go back and see what else. Okay. I liked this. A little bit off topic, but not really. Chuck Woolery. Can you spell irony? 1,500 private jets expected at Davos during global warming talks. Yeah, 1,500 private jets. I bet you they're causing some, if anything is causing global warming, it's those jets. Anyway, let's see what else we have here. Bit of all sorts of stuff. All right, Nathan Phillips, the Native American at the center of the false Covington Catholic media story, lied about serving in Vietnam War. He raised $6,000 off this lie. This is called stolen valor, which is a federal crime according to the Stolen Valor Act of 2013. So this man is not just a fraud, he is a criminal. Yeah, those people that are thinking they want to electrocute, put these boys in a wood chipper, gun them down, all sorts of things, punch them in the face. Yeah, they need to maybe take a look at the other side. Okay. And this, which I didn't realize either. I knew this guy had died, but I did not realize he was investigating. Well, let me read this. 2013 marked the death of well-known Rolling Stone reporter Michael Hastings. I'm sure everybody remembers that because I know if you were anything like me, I didn't believe that it was an accident. It was pretty evident that it wasn't. In a fire, the death of well-known Rolling Stone reporter Michael Hastings in a fiery one-car accident which puzzled crash experts and Hastings' friends. Hastings' new leased Mercedes C250 SUV went up in a fireball as it hit a tree in central Los Angeles after speeding at 4 in the morning. The Los Angeles Times reported that at the time of his death, Hastings was working on a story about CIA Director Brennan. And this is Brennan. Nobody effing investigates the CIA and lives to tell about it. Well, that's the truth. You can ask Michael Hastings about that. So I did not realize that he was investigating Brennan, rather. I really didn't. So that was interesting to me. I had to, just in case there are others like me that were not aware of that. Okay. And this from Snake Plissken. How do we know Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to be off the SCOTUS bench soon? The frantic effort to fuel Catholic hate. What's the connection? Trump's pick to replace her is believed to be Amy Barrett, a devout Catholic. The controllers think her faith is the best chance to destroy Amy. Evil. Remember when Q asked us and said, well, the wrap-up smear won't work because it's a woman, right? So the wrap-up smear is not going to work. I mean, sexual, people coming out and claiming sexual assault isn't going to work with a woman. So what are they going to do? Well, apparently they're going to attack her faith. And her faith is Catholic. And that is why this whole narrative with these boys from the Catholic school. So now you know. Disgusting, isn't it? Yeah, they'll use your children, and I don't have any children, but if I did, they'd use my children too. They don't care whose children they use, as long as it suits their purposes and the end justifies the mean, as far as they're concerned. And there, and I like this, although we've kind of probably done this to death. Pelosi's secret overseas mission included 93 family members. Why? Why did Pelosi have all of her children and grandchildren, 93 family members, going with her on a trip to Egypt, Afghanistan, and Brussels? Well, that is a very good question, isn't it? And I bet you want to know the answer to that too. I sure do. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me. And now this is interesting as well. This came from Abel Danger. Prior to John F. Kennedy assassination in November 1963, the entire cabinet was flown to Tokyo, Japan. At the time of the JFK assassination, the entire cabinet was out of the country. Okay, so they had all flown to Japan. That's in November 1963, prior to the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Well, the same pattern just happened with Pelosi and Adam Schiff. Did it? Preparing a new Nancy Pelosi cabinet? Is that what she was doing? Were they planning to be out of town for the assassination? Well, I happen to think that that's exactly what it was. And I don't know if I'm by myself in that, or if maybe you all think that, or maybe none of you do. I don't know. But let me know in the comments below. I always look forward to that. And I don't know. I like this. I don't always reject Nancy's use of military planes, but when I do, I wait until she's on the way to the airport. Yeah. You gotta love that. And then there's this. Harmful if swallowed. Government approved news. Mainstream media. News corpse. Instead of corpse, C-O-R-P-S, it's C-O-R-P-S-E, because they're dead. Well. Oh, my. I've got a very loud kitten somewhere in this house. My goodness, what's wrong? All right. Now, I think I may have already done this, but I get confused because I did another whole video with my microphone not working, and I think that might have been Sunday. I don't know. It's all mixed up now. But anyway, if I've read this to you before, then forgive me. But this by Charlie Kirk. Breaking: Democrats vote to fund 287 miles of border wall. Well, that's good news, except it's on the border between Jordan and Syria and Iraq. If Democrats will fund walls for other countries, and if they've funded barriers for the U.S. in the past, why won't they build one to keep America safe? Well, that's a good question, isn't it? And if we knew that, we'd know everything. All right, now I think some of this down here is stuff that I may have already covered. But I'm not sure. But anyway, it's getting to the, oh gosh, I've got tons of stuff to cover. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop there for tonight because it is getting late. And I do have a ton more news, so I will bring that to you tomorrow. I will bring that and tomorrow's news as well. So I'll probably be doing 2 videos tomorrow. That's my plan. And that I will lock up my equipment tonight where no cat can reach. I promise. So anyway, that will be that for tonight, and I will catch you back tomorrow night. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Stay well, stay blessed, and I'll talk to you real soon. At least I hope I will. Bye-bye.